Welcome to the Walk in Power podcast, where I believe that confidence is your superpower. I am your host, Carmen B., founder of Healthy Energy Actively Living, also known as HEAL, and the creator of Manifesting Love, a transformational course designed to guide you in crushing your self-doubt and building unstoppable confidence so you can rise and shine in the power of your true self. My mission here is to inspire you to build confidence by owning your power to create the life you desire and deserve through wellness. I'll be sharing stories and pointers from my own journey, and I'll be inviting some amazing and inspirational guests who will share their stories of transformation and offer gems for your toolbox. My hope is that every episode leaves you better than you came, and you would gracefully share your experience with someone else. If you're ready to prioritize your wellness, build unstoppable confidence, and evolve into the best version of you, then you're in the right place. I'm so happy you decided to join me here today. Without further ado, let's dive in. Hello, my Walk in Power family. As always, I'm super excited to be here with you today, and I want to share with you my most recent experience with my very first solo trip. I just ended my solo trip in Belize, Central America, and can I tell you, it was the most amazing experience. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I've never in my life thought about taking a solo trip out of the country because most of my trips are with my girls and it's girls' time and time to get away and have fun together. But for some reason, I just felt in my soul that I just needed some time. I needed to get away, especially coming off the tail end of the pandemic, being stuck in the house for a very long time, becoming a teacher as a homeschooling parent for a whole school year. Yeah, that was a lot. And so I really felt that I needed this break. And let me tell you, my family was not having it. My mom, my aunt, they were so worried and trying to discourage me from making this decision. And all they could think about was, what if something happens to you? You don't know anyone over there. What if this happens? And what if that happens? And oh, the worry and concern after concern. And I know they meant well. But my thoughts were, what if I go away and have an absolute amazing time? And I did just that. You see, what I refused to do was give power and energy to their fears. Because I don't know about you, but I believe that a lot of the fears that we have about life and about taking chances, they're not even our own, right? Many of the fears that we have are fears that were passed down to us. And I've spoken about this many times, and I probably will talk about it many more times. But many of the fears that we have, they're not ours, right? They were passed down to us, and we've adopted it, and now we're going through life with these fears that aren't even real, that don't even belong to us. And so, as I walk in my power and continue on this journey of evolution, I release anything that I know for a fact that ain't mine. And I want to encourage you to do the same. Now, fun fact about Belize. If you don't know anything about Belize, I want to tell you that July is the beginning of their lobster season, which I had no idea and learned this upon my arrival, which made me even more excited to be there because I love lobster. And every single year, they have a lobster festival. So let me tell you, I will be going back just for the lobster festival. However, outside of the most amazing food ever, I really used that week in Belize to relax and practice intentional self care, intentional relaxation and rejuvenation and restoration. Just taking the time to read. I did a lot of reading, spent a lot of time in the hammock at the beautiful house that I stayed at. I did a lot of prayer and meditating, reading my Bible and spending time alone with God just to refill my spirit. I also did some exercise. It was amazing. I did some swimming, and let me just tell you this: I cannot swim, but in Belize, I was an incredible swimmer, and I learned that it's because the salt content is so high that it makes it much easier to stay up. So I built my swimming confidence in Belize. Now, I'm not going to get crazy and try that somewhere else because I would definitely drown. But I'm working on that, y'all. So if you know any places where I can take great swimming lessons so that I can be great everywhere I go and not just Belize, please send those along. So, yeah, if you have never taken a solo trip, I want to encourage you to don't be scared, right? And even if it's not out of the country, maybe even if it's just to another state, but just something that's just for you, right? On your own. That time to sit still and not have anyone like competing for your time and your energy. And when I say competing, it's really competing against yourself, right? Because you have others who want you to show up for them and you're trying to do things for yourself. So then that competition arises where you and someone else is competing for your time and your energy. But being alone, you don't experience that. And then being alone for a few days, my goodness. So, highly, highly encouraged. I look forward to doing something like that every single year. So, let's dive into the topic for today's episode. And what I want to tell you is if you have not had a chance to check out the last episode where I talked about the importance of developing discipline over motivation. And in that episode, I dived in giving 3 tips for helping you to develop discipline. So if you have not gone and listened to that episode, highly recommend it. So now over the next few what I want to do is dive in to those 3 tips and really give you even more pointers on how you can use those tips to develop discipline. Okay? On the last episode, when we talked about was the importance of having discipline over motivation because motivation is temporary, right? Discipline is not always going to be there. And if you're anything like me, I like quick results, right? I think many of us do. We love quick results. However, when you've set a goal and you begin working towards that goal, if you don't see changes as soon as you were hoping to, that can really like crush your motivation. Sometimes it can crush your confidence too. You start to doubt yourself. Am I doing this right? Am I making the right decision? Is this even what I'm supposed to be doing? Because you're not seeing immediate results. And so when the motivation begins to falter or fade away, that's where the discipline kicks in and saying, I made a commitment to myself. And I love to really apply this to wellness because I believe that that is the greatest area of our lives where we can build our confidence and build discipline. And everything that we learn and developing wellness practices and wellness routines, and whether that's something, whether you're working towards developing new wellness routines around healing your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit, whatever that is, those new habits of build those new habits that contribute to your discipline can also be applied to every other goal that you set for yourself. You can turn and say, all right, how did I do this so that I can show up here? And now, how can I apply this discipline in other areas of my life where I want to have achievements, whatever that is? That could be starting a business, starting a podcast. Like I had to apply my disciplines to starting this podcast and reminding myself that, you know what? No matter if you're seeing results immediate or not, you don't give up, right? Because everything you do right now contributes to the big picture. And so definitely want to encourage you to go back, listen to that podcast, listen to those pointers, and then continue on with this motivation. I'm sorry, with this series, not motivation, with this series of building and developing discipline over motivation. So, one of the tips that we talked about on the last episode that I'm sharing here today is remember your big why. Why is it so important to remember your big why? Well, like I just talked about, sometimes when you're not seeing immediate results, motivation can begin to fade, right? But in those times when you're feeling unmotivated, when you're feeling like maybe I'm not on the right track, maybe this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing, you can always go back to that big why and remember why you started. And remembering why you started, whether you're saying it out loud, if it's written down, if you recorded it, however you choose to have that documented, remembering your big why is a great way to reestablish motivation. It's a great way to think about the big picture, where I'm going and why I'm going there, right? And so I want to encourage you, one, the importance of developing a big why for all of your goals. If you have a goal and it's something you really want to achieve, you have to know why, right? Because that way you're not moving through this goal or working towards this goal blindly, right? No real intention. That's definitely the word I want. No, you want to be extremely intentional in everything you do. What are your intentions for moving in this direction, for developing this goal, for improving your wellness? What is your intention? So, what I want to give you today is questions to help you develop your big why. Now, these are the questions that I use whenever I have a new goal. I use these questions to help me really evaluate my intention and to say, that why good enough? I'll be honest with you. Sometimes there are things you want to do and you have to look at it and say, is the reason I want to do this a good enough reason to move forward? Good, let's be honest. There are some things that we want to do that don't really contribute to anything in our lives or to the person that we desire to become. And so that's where having a big why really helps. So I'm going to start with the first question for your big why. And that is, how will this accomplishment, look at me, I'm all tongue tied. I'm going to start again. Number one, how will this accomplishment improve my quality of life? That is definitely something to think about. If you're working hard towards a goal, you're putting in your blood, tears, sweat, resources. How is it going to impact your life? How will your quality of life be better once you achieve this goal? And not to say you don't already have a great quality of life, but remember, we're constantly evolving. And so how does this already add to the person you are today? That's really important. Because if you're doing something just because and it doesn't help you build skills, it doesn't make you more money, it doesn't make you feel good from starting from the inside and out, if it doesn't do anything to fill your joy cup, then why? Right? Like, why? Let me tell you, when I started this podcast, I already knew this is definitely going to contribute to filling my joy cup. But I also want to contribute to your joy cup. Contributing to your joy cup also brings me joy, right? And I feel really good about sharing with my community, sharing with my Walk in Power family. I love the feedback I receive and knowing that someone's listening and this is really helping someone. So that is definitely how it's going to improve my quality of life. But also, I want to be a speaker. And so, in order to be a speaker, you have to talk. So, here I am talking, right? All right, so that was question number one. Question number two: how will this accomplishment impact my loved ones and my community? Now, it's important, sometimes we think of goals and think, oh, this is just about me. But the reality is, we were placed on this earth to serve. The things that we do in life, even as we evolve, it's not just for us. Whatever we develop, however we grow, the goal should always be to pour into others. Whether that is through inspiring others or encouraging others or just even sharing your journey in hopes that someone else is ready to begin their journey and that you can help and you can help them or you could be a change agent in their life, right? And even if it's for your kids, maybe it's I'm becoming a healthier person so I can even have a greater relationship with my kids. How will that impact my kids? Right? How do you show up in your different communities? Because it's also recognizing that we are a part of so many communities. We have our friendship communities, church communities, work communities, home communities. There are so many communities that we show up in on a daily basis. So, really asking yourself, how will this accomplishment contribute to my community and to my loved ones, those closest to you? And the last question. Now, what I want to say is I like to use three questions because we can have questions and questions and questions for days. But as long as we're answering all these questions, we're not going to get started, right? So I'm just going to stick to my top three, right? So the last question, to me, the most important question in the big why: what is the cost of staying complacent? What is the cost of staying the same, staying right where you are, not evolving, not making any changes, not doing anything more to become the person you say you desire to become, right? What will that cost you? Right? Complacent is to be unsatisfied with oneself. That is what complacent means, right? To be in a place of dissatisfaction. I think that's the word. Dissatisfaction, not unsatisfaction, right? Now, I'm going to say dissatisfaction. To be unsatisfied with the life that you're currently living or the person you're showing up as, right? What will it cost you to stay right there? Oh my goodness. When I just even saying that, I think about the person I used to be. And if I stayed in that place, I guarantee you I would not be here with you right now delivering this message. I would not be the owner of a wellness business. I would not be inspiring others to walk in their power. I would be stuck. I would be stuck, mad, angry, depressed. All right, I'm gonna just leave it right there because I'm not even gonna go back there. But what will it cost you? Right? Think about where you are right now and what you want. If you stayed right where you are today in this very moment, what will that cost you? Will it cost you your mental health? Will it cost you your physical health? Will it cost a spiritual connection with God? Will it cost you your social and emotional health? What will it cost? And I'm going to ask, I mean, I know I said three questions, But if I could just add this on to that last question, what will it cost you and is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth staying the same? I know that moving towards goals can be very challenging. Starting something new, developing new habits. And in order to develop new habits, you also have to develop a shift in your mindset. These things are not easy, they are hard. Evolving is hard. But you know what else is hard? Depression, anxiety, obesity, unhappiness. So I'll tell you, you got to choose your heart, baby. You want to be hard and growing or hard and complacent? I hope that today's episode served you. I want you to know when I'm talking to you, I'm also talking to myself, right? Talking to you is a reminder to me of what I'm supposed to be doing also. So I'm grateful for this. I hope that you received today, and I hope that you will rise and shine and own your power because, oh, you are oh so powerful. Please stay connected. I look forward to our next time together. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you're moving forward, how you're going to develop discipline. I want to hear some of the answers to your big whys. So don't be afraid to share those with me. And if you're okay with it, I can share them on the air. I can share them with others so that you can also be a motivator and inspirational to our listeners. Because remember, we are a family. Until next time, my Walk in Power family, walk in power. Thank you for tuning in to this episode on the Walk in Power podcast. I hope you feel enlightened, ready to make your wellness a priority, got some tools for your toolbox, and are feeling encouraged to walk in power. Don't forget to subscribe to catch every new episode. And please leave a review along with any topics you would like to hear me speak on. If you haven't done so already, please head over to my website at www.healwithcarmenb.com to check out the services I have to offer. And while you're visiting, subscribe to my mailing list to receive updates on new episodes and upcoming events, because trust me, you don't want to miss those. I've created a Walk in Power Facebook community, and you're invited to join so we can continue these discussions. You can stay connected through Instagram at Heal with Carmen B and on Facebook at Healthy Energy Actively Live. Until next time, walk in power. With love and gratitude, Carmen B.